Yes.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It Fab. Guys, I got an old school friend here with me today. Satuli Thomas, actor, model, singer. Oh my God, out in Cali. First of all, I'm so excited that you're even like doing this with me right now.
Oh, I'm so excited that you're doing this, and it's so good to be able to do this because I haven't
No.
seen you in a decade.
Yeah,
A
yeah, it's
little
been a
over, yeah, a little over
you
a
know me
decade.
pre kids, right?
Yes, yes, pre-kids, like we go
Yes,
back
yes,
and
pre
back and
kids.
back.
Listen, back like to the choir days at the church.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
how you been, man? Like it's been too long. It's
It's
been
been
way too
it's
long.
been way too long. I've been good. I've been good. Life is life, and life is
I
life,
know,
and life is
I
life, and
know.
things are good. Lots of good things, lots of momentous things happening, which is exciting right now.
Yes, yes,
Got some new music out. It's my
yes. Tell me
first,
about that.
yeah, it's my first song in Creole, actually.
Okay,
It's
is it
yeah,
Copan? Okay.
yeah. It's my first song.
Yeah.
It's called C'est Nous.
Okay.
And, yeah, and it's a love song. And
Nice.
yeah, I've been sitting on it for a little bit. We worked on it 3 years ago, and I'm like, I'm nervous about putting this out. I don't know, because I'm so versed in the house music world, and I've been
Yes.
doing that for a while. And
That's
then
the New
to
Yorker in you.
Yes, the New Yorker in me, exactly. And so I wanted to also pay homage to our roots and
Yes.
Creole and Haitian culture and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to put it out there and you know show
Yeah.
another layer of me.
Yes.
So
Yes. For sure. For sure.
yes,
For sure.
yes, yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
we're gonna get right into it.
Let's get into it.
And before we start,
Yeah.
I told myself that I wanted to personally apologize to you.
Oh.
And I say that because and I apologize to you on behalf of myself and anyone else who feels that um not that we were responsible, but we didn't know. You know what I mean? Because what I mean by that is we didn't know how to allow our loved ones and friends around us to live their truth.
Hmm.
And I'm sure you're going to get into that, but I just feel that we should be safe places for one another,
Right.
and church should definitely be a safe space for
Right.
all of us.
Right.
So I definitely I felt compelled from the minute I told you, like, would you do this with me? I said, I gotta start off that standpoint.
Oh, wow.
And with that being said, a lot of us talk about church hurt. And I think different people from different situations, big or small, they have the right to talk about that, right?
Mhm.
Because it's your truth, right?
Right.
But I want to hear today what you describe as church hurt.
For sure. All right. Will do. First of all, wow, I wasn't expecting an apology. Not that I feel like it was needed, but I appreciate you um, just doing that and acknowledging that. I appreciate that so much. Um, Church hurt. Well, let's go back to you've always been someone that has always been very supportive of me, even
Hmm.
though you may have not flat out said, hey, like, boom, 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 like go into detail. But
Hmm.
one thing that I know about you for sure is that you've never judged me, or I've never witnessed you judging me in a disparaging manner or talking about me behind my back to the people. Like, I've never experienced that from you. You've been nothing but loving and supportive and the amazing you that I've always known you to be. So, so
We cry on podcast,
I
dude.
know.
Don't do it to me. I haven't cried yet. Don't get me started. I don't
But
know if it's.
I wanted to share that. I wanted to share that.
Oh, I
So
appreciate
I wanted to share that. I appreciate you and I see you. I wanted to share that. But going back to church hurt,
it.
church hurt for me is it's multi-layered. It's multi-layered.
I
It's
know.
multi-layered. I think from first like jump, I think church hurt stems from not feeling safe. You That was like one of the first words that really resonated with me is the safe word. And that's the minute that that safety is violated, that's
Yeah.
where the church hurt comes in.
Yeah.
Because we go to church with this expectancy that it's a place to be safe, it's a place where you come to heal, it's a place where you come to grow, it's a place where you are recognizing God as your higher power and that you're coming together with everyone in one accord in a peaceful manner, in a loving manner, in a community manner, but you find that there's divisiveness underneath all of that, and you find that there's jealousy and hatred and backstabbing and ill intentions and all of that stuff in the house, in a place that's supposed to be the house of God,
Safe.
right?
Yeah.
Right, safe.
Yeah.
And when, let's be honest,
Which is
because
that's what we're doing
yeah,
here.
right,
For
because
for
the
real.
word church has been ingrained in us and conditioned us to believe that church is a fortress, it's a safe haven, right? The minute that those expectations are not met, that
Yeah.
is where the red flags start to show, you know, because we're going in with expectancy, but no one told us that all of this stuff would go down in the church. You
Yeah.
understand? No one told us that, you know, people's humanity will show
Mm-hmm.
up in the church, and sometimes people who are um, putting on this cloak of divinity, but really it's their humanity that they just haven't really dealt with yet, you know, and putting it on everyone. You know, this it's that's why I say it's multi-layered. It's a lot. But church
It
hurt for me is when that expectation is violated. You know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Um, I've heard many people talk about it from that perspective.
Hmm.
Is trust violated
Yeah.
and not feeling safe,
Yeah.
you know? Um, and then now a place that you consider a safe haven that
Hmm.
you run to
Hmm.
for love,
Hmm.
comfort, security.
Hmm.
Now, where do you go? You know? And for us growing up, even now, we believe that church, God is at the church. So, where you experience hurt in a place like that, you start to question, where is God in all of this? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So, it's, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
when those things are violated.
You start to ask questions, and then you start to almost kind of develop this sense of resentment.
Yeah.
You know, there's a resentment towards the church. Because don't get me wrong, like, if we sit and talk about the good times we've had in the Lord,
Okay.
you know, we've
Okay.
had some really, really great times.
Okay.
But
Clapping up, worship.
yeah, all of that. But then it's almost like, especially because we grew up in the BOC, it's as if like once that element was, oops, sorry, the my battery. Okay, it's almost that like once that element was over, it just what else is there? Because once the worship aspect is over, then you get into the word, which
Yeah.
was unfortunately weaponized to hurt people and
We,
weaponized.
are we going there? Are we going there?
I'm gonna be
Because
yes,
let me tell you, you know what? I think we always had, and I'm gonna let you finish, right? I
yeah,
know we
yeah,
always had the emotions and the feelings about what was going on,
hmm
but I think now we have the language.
yeah.
Definitely the word was weaponized.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah,
it's like, man,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Weaponized big time to control, to
My God.
um,
Man.
agenda, to tyrancy. Because I felt like at one point, especially in the Haitian church, like when I left the body of Christ and I've attended other churches, I've attended other churches before being in the BOC. So I've had
Okay.
a wide variety of church experiences and
Exposed.
have and exposure and I've been able to differentiate the good and bad between all of them. But I'm gonna be straight up. BOC takes the cake.
I knew
The
you were gonna say
BOC,
that.
the BOC,
I knew you were gonna say that.
the
But
BOC. It takes the cake. It takes the cake.
go ahead, bro. Go,
it
go
it
ahead.
it it, it takes the cake because like my siblings were Seventh Day Adventists. I was able to experience that on a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Catholic school. I was able to
Okay.
experience Catholicism on a level.
Mm-hmm.
Before we were in the BOC, we went from sort of like a charismatic church into a Baptist church, which was still Holy Ghost Baptist church.
Oh
But and
wow,
then
you was around.
yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
this is and when I say around, this was my parents really seeking and searching. My father was even there was a Dianetics book in my house, okay? Like, yes. He yes, we were searching. The family was searching. I'm glad they didn't
I
tap into that.
see.
Glad they didn't tap into that. But goes to show it, yeah, it was showing me that the family was seeking
You were
something
seeking,
higher. Yeah, yeah, they were
of course.
seeking something. Yeah, yeah. And so, but going back to the BOC, for me, it was the rigidity. It was the rigidity of the rules and claiming it divine order. It was the weaponizing of the word to control, to conquer, to divide. It was um, the almost the conditioning of removing your identity.
So hold on a second. Stop for a second. You're
Yeah.
going straight into my second question.
Oh,
Are would you say that it was cultish?
what? When I say it was cultish, it is the damn cult. Excuse my language. It is because look,
Oh man, like no holds barred tonight, huh?
nose bar, nose bar. Look,
Okay.
when you get into a space
Okay.
where you have a group of people that are listening to one person for every order and direction of their life, that is a cult. And when everyone starts dressing alike and looking alike and speaking alike, and not really expressing the divine expression that God has placed in each person uniquely, that's a cult.
Let me
Well, these shit won't see.
no, you know, we're laughing, but it's so not funny. Like
Yeah, yeah,
because you know what it is? Um I have come to despise religion with a passion.
same.
And primarily because of things that you just mentioned.
Hmm.
Now, do not misunderstand me, right? And I'm sure I speak for you as well, and I speak for
Yes.
a couple of people.
Yeah.
Man, our parents, man, they did their best.
Yeah.
They they did their best. Like I could only imagine escaping a country, and when they left Haiti, it wasn't even as bad as it is right now,
Oh my
you know.
God, no, it's
But they
apples and
left
oranges.
Haiti. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
left Haiti. They thought it was getting bad to
Right.
bring us here to give us a better quality of life.
Right.
And I just feel that we landed on something
Hmm.
that felt familiar,
Hmm.
secure, and
Hmm.
safe at the time.
Hmm.
But there were certain things that they just and they still don't notice. You understand? They
Hmm.
didn't notice and they still don't notice. But I never faulted, anyone. Because I feel like if we knew better, we would do better.
Yeah.
But now that we do and we
Hmm.
have the language, like something has to be said about that because it's obvious. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's
Something
obvious.
does. Yeah. Something does have to be said. To piggyback on what you said, it was a different process for me. Like I did find fault, and not so much in my parents. The only
Mm,
thing that I I'm gonna be honest because I'm an open book, but and I've openly have said this to my parents, and I
mhm.
said that if you guys weren't followers, we wouldn't be in this situation, and I said that to them square in the face because what happened was, and I've had other people in the family that had said, Maman ak papa ou te très bien en baptiste. Pour qui ça n'a rentré encore? Pour qui ça va rentrer corps dans tête ça? Why? You know? And the difference between l'Église baptiste avec corps de Christ is that l'Église baptiste a une formation la kaili que corps de Christ n'a pas gagné. L'Église baptiste là dit OK, ou besoin pasteur, go to theology school, you have to go for tel séminaire, school education. And then there's an order.
Structure.
There's structure. Thank you. There's a structure. There's a way to do things before you can even pastor a church
I see what you mean.
in the
Yeah.
Baptist church. But in the BOC, it's free for all. It's a free for all. The minute they hear a voice from the sky, they don't distinguish if it's God or Satan or Buddha or whoever, not offending anybody here, but they hear something and it's like, oh, God spoke to me. Really? Okay.
I might have to be drinking lots of water throughout this.
But
No,
yes,
no,
for going
I
back,
get. Mm-hmm.
yeah, going
Go
back, I
ahead.
went on a tangent there for a little bit. But what it was for me was the blame that I placed the blame on an aunt who was in Haiti, who came here with BOC like fire and, l'Evangile chauffé, all of that. And my parents got caught up in that, you know?
So, why do you think? Do like I guess like any other organization that's structured that way.
Uh,
Why is it so hard to walk away, to leave?
you know
Why did
why
it?
you know
You
why it
know?
was so hard? I'm gonna tell you why it was so hard. It
Mhm.
was so hard because of the community. There was a unity. Now, not all churches had this.
Yeah. Mhm.
You've known me since, because I grew up in a church
Going
that,
there
yes, two different
forever.
pastors, right,
Yeah.
forever. So we go back to the 80s. Okay, I
Yeah.
remember. I
Basically.
remember when your father, transitioned. So
Yeah.
that's how far back we go.
Yeah.
So in those times, the pastoring was a little bit different. You
It
know,
was.
it
It
was
was.
it was very different. There was a
Yes.
space. There was kind of a divide where there were a lot of people in the BOC that were saying, "Oh, if you don't." if you don't convert to us, you're not going to be saved. Or the
Yeah.
BOC, we the only ones that have the truth. We, c'est nous mêmes seuls qui sauvé by Isaio.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was very different then. And when this new individual came on, it just was like, whoa, like
Yeah.
what what is this? God, what? God ain't, you gotta
I
wear a
got you.
long, what? Just
I get
all of
it.
that.
I get it. I get
Yeah,
it.
all of that.
I oh man, I mean, there's so much to say. You understand? There's so much and there's really, where do you begin? You understand?
Yeah,
The hurt the hurt I think again is exactly what you nailed it on the head, where you were like, it was like the community,
yeah.
because there was love there
There was, yeah,
in some spaces.
yeah.
There was love, you
There was
know.
love. There was this sense of like, my problem becomes your problem. Like, you
Yes.
have like for example, if you
Hmm.
have an issue right now, right? And we in the community or whatever, I'd be over your house, we'd be figuring out
Okay.
how to help you out.
Of
It was
course.
it was like that. It was roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty with your
Yeah.
fellow brother and sister to help uplift them out of the situation. Because it was each person that went through something in their life, there was always a support system there,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then along came a spider named You Know Who, came in with this new thing and this cliquish energy and this divisive spirit, where now you have to go to the minister directly for everything that you're doing in your life. And so it started to remove the community aspect and now made it a dictatorship and a tyranny. It's almost kind of a communist environment,
I
you
see.
know?
Yeah. And
So,
you're hurt. So when we say church hurt, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
at some point in any structure or situation like that, someone pulls away, right?
yeah.
Um, but there's many that stay. Do you think that they stay because they feel that they can change things, or they stay because they're just not awake yet? Or like, so why didn't you stay? Why didn't you try to help? Like, I'm trying to I'm trying to understand and see what your thought process was, you
Sure.
know.
So, I think people stay because, like we said, it's what's familiar, it's what's comfortable.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
think they think they gon' and listen, I'm all for prayer. I believe in prayer. But you can't pray for a job, but you're not out there looking for a job. You
Faith
know?
without work. Yeah.
Faith without work. So it's the same. A lot of people stay because they gonna pray it out, thinking that it'll change, and it doesn't. And then
Hmm.
they become stuck. Now, for me, I left because I felt like I was in a prison, and I felt like I couldn't be, there was too much control, and I couldn't be free. And I felt like, had I stayed, I would have stifled, my blessings would have been stifled in
Hmm.
staying. And so now, in trying to help people open their eyes, like, I felt like that was never my responsibility to do that, because there's a space where, when you leave the church, you're automatically ostracized. And
You
then
know,
they, go ahead.
no, finish your thought.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
remember.
you're automatically ostracized, and
Yeah,
you're ostracized and or a demonized. And so
yeah.
therefore you are, the people that are left behind are told not to be in contact with you, or you're told not to contact anyone that's been left behind. And also, there's a space of if you do stay in contact, there's still a soul tie. There's still now you because the trust has been violated. So why am I going to continue to keep in contact? You're just going to keep continuing that vicious cycle of screwing me over, and talking about me behind my back and all the stuff that I left for. So I think leaving and not looking back was the best way to sever ties and to also just understand that each person that I left behind would go through their own cathartic moment
Yeah.
and would go through their own awakening. Some have and some haven't. And some
Yeah.
decided to continue to drink, the Kool-Aid or boire de l'eau sale là comme papa me dit toujours qu'on dit. And I
I
miss him terribly.
I can't with you. I mean, you were like your dad's twin. I promise you. Like to me, you were like his twin.
Yes, you
Um,
have always said that.
so yes. So let me ask you this
Yes.
now. When you say that you're living your truth,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Walk us through that. What does that mean exactly?
So I'm living my truth as a gay male, as a out, unashamed um, gay male who not just the gay thing, but living my truth in the sense that um, I sing other songs other than gospel music. I love
Hmm.
fashion. I love art.
Hmm.
I love spirituality and embracing my cultural spirituality.
Hmm.
I am just myself without anyone telling me who to be, how to be, or what not to be,
And when to be it.
and when to be it.
Hmm.
Because I spent so much of my life and my time there
Hmm.
hiding who I was,
Yeah.
not being honest. I'm worshiping God, but I'm not being honest with myself. Make that make sense, you know?
And that's where again, like it's such a touchy. Well, first of all, I'm an empath, so I'm just touchy feely anyway. But
Mhm.
I just can't help but feel like the environment just should have been safer for you, safer for anyone,
Anyone. Yeah.
anyone that
Yeah.
no, I don't think anyone should be in a place that they call home and not and feel so unsafe, you
Hmm.
know, that
Yeah.
I can't share this part of me. I can't
Hmm.
speak this, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much like, where the apologies came from. It's like, man, I hate that that was the reality for you,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um
But in one aspect, it was a reality for you too,
mm,
because when I look at you and I look at the amazing sisters that I've met in the body that are my friends, I've
mhm,
seen the pressure that you've
mhm,
had to go through as a female, the
mhm,
things that are put on you as women, the way that women are not respected in the body, the way that women are if the Holy Spirit gives you the gift of prophecy or gives you the gift of ministry, you can't do that in the BOC. You can't.
mhm,
Because they condition you to think that God has called men into ministry and not women, which is a lie, you know.
mhm.
And then there's all the other pressures that you had to go through growing up as a teen, the aspect of getting married, having to find a brother in the body, and all this
Hold on.
bullshit.
Oh, hold on.
Hmm. All this bullshit that they put on
Woo.
y'all. Like y'all had to
Yeah.
wear long skirts all the time. You couldn't express your femininity in the way that every other girl was. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
femininity. I'm talking about nail polish, makeup. hair,
Yeah, beautiful and
clothing, being, yes, all of that stuff. And so much focus was, that was emphasized on so much. Like, to me, it just didn't make sense because your outer appearance does not make you less of a
hmm
woman. It
hmm
doesn't make you holier than whoever or whatever. It's your heart. And they never taught that. They never taught you it's your heart or it's your mind. It's always like, cover this, cover that. You utwa Chanel, ou pas mettre lipstick, pas mettre faux cheveux.
Yo,
If you even,
you
you couldn't,
remembered every last detail that they always say.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because as a brother in the church, one of the ways that I was a support system for my friends and other youth that were like me was I heard a lot of that. And
yeah,
also, it was also, to be honest with you, it was also public because they talked about it so much that they put y'all on blast. You know what I mean? So you have to acknowledge that too in yourself,
yeah.
that you're
Oh,
living, you know,
I
live.
mean, a lot of people are living their truth right now.
Yes,
You know,
and I love
and
it. I
and
love
and
it.
and my thing is, I will never play Christ's role. Christ is Christ, God is God. I will never try to play his role and judge a single soul. That is not my
It's
place.
sad. Yeah, it's
And
just
I
sad.
and I believe that we hold a lot of things and what people do accountable, but you know, man, I can't even begin to unpack this thing because there's a lot to unpack. There's
It
just
is.
really, really a lot to unpack because if you put a lot of emphasis on how you look on the exterior, man, do you know where I was Saturday night before service? What I was doing in the dark that nobody knew about? You
Okay.
know what I
Oh,
And it's
okay.
like it's like, are you more because let's keep it a buck right now, right? I remember there were times I would be at the club on a Saturday night, and on a
Yeah.
Sunday morning, I refused to hold on to that microphone. I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It never sat well with me. I was like, I was just with, you know who on Saturday, and here I
Right.
am trying to be holier than thou on Sunday morning.
Right.
That life just, it was so it still is fake to me.
Yeah.
So, and I remember that there was sometimes, someone would be like, oh, hold the mic, and but I'm like, nah, I'm good, not this Sunday,
Not today.
because I
Yeah.
know what I was doing. I know what I was doing the night
Yeah.
before, and
Inconscient. Yeah.
you know and that was just that. But I always had questions. I always had questions, and if in everything in life, like, I may do it unconsciously today, tomorrow, but after a while, I'm like, okay, so why am I doing this? And why am I doing it like this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not making me happy,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, church hurt, church hurt is definitely real. And I don't think
It
it's
is.
just a BOC thing, a Baptist. I think it's
It's
religion. People,
it's
people,
yeah. It
right?
definitely
People are
is.
done with religion. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just,
People are done because I hear it from, ex-Catholics. I hear it from even the churches I attended to after the BOC. And
yeah.
I hear people, talking about, oh, they left this church or they left that church. The pastor, the church that I went to after the BOC. Now, I will say that the safe haven part of church, I did finally find that.
Okay.
But I had to leave to really get it, and I really like those 5 years post leaving like BOC before moving to LA. Community Tabernacle of Deliverance was a safe haven for me, and that's really where I kind of, my eyes really started to really open up as to what happened to me and what was going on, what I was experiencing. Because every time Bishop Densmore would go on and preach, and I felt like he was talking to me directly, and I didn't tell this man anything about me, what I was going through, but he definitely preached a lot about spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
You know,
And let's talk about it. It's traumatic. It's trauma.
very, very,
It's
very.
trauma.
It is.
It's
My battery is getting low. I'm
yeah,
just lifting my phone up really quick so that I could stick the.
the charger.
Yes.
Good, you're good. You're good. You're good. I like I said, I definitely wanted to have this conversation
Yeah.
because for one, it needed to be had in general, you
Yeah.
know? We're
Yes.
not going to walk into the BOC now and stand on the pulpit and give a testimony about, oh, you hurt me, right?
No.
But I always felt like I've had these little cluster of conversations with people,
Same.
and it's always like, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's be open about it. But it just wasn't, there was never a platform, you know?
Right. Right.
So in me walking in my purpose, right?
Right.
Um, I felt like individuals such as you and myself and others,
Mm-hmm.
we have something to say.
We
And I
do.
feel
We
that
do.
it'll help someone. You
Oh yeah.
understand? It'll
Oh
help
yeah.
someone.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm not, I don't even get this from you either. I'm not here to bash anyone or anything. You
No.
know, my biggest thing is that it should have been safer,
Mm-hmm.
right? It
Yes.
should have been safer.
Yeah.
And what I mean by safe is everything should have been able to be discussed. You
Right.
should have you should have always been able to present your true self and let that be what it
Yeah.
is.
What
You
it is.
understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yes.
even if it resulted in you not staying, but we recognized and we respected what you had to say in regards to that. And that
Yes.
goes for everything. You understand?
Yes.
Someone
Yeah.
who, no matter what they experienced, it just should have been a safer environment.
It really should have. It really
Yeah.
should have been. Yeah, it really should have been because it's interesting you say you share these conversations you've had with clusters of people. I feel
Hmm.
like I've had a lot of those since
Yeah.
I left. We've had a few of those,
Yeah.
and I just feel like as as time goes on, people will continue to share
Yeah.
and talk about these things because there's something about talking about that, right? Those years were our youth. They were the prime early
Oh,
days of our youth. So there's an aspect where we lost a little bit of our childhood.
yeah.
And I part of me I'm getting better at it now. I'm healing from that. But I've held a lot of resentment because I felt like those prime years of my life where the formation happens, the evolution, the growing of conditioning of, I feel those years were wasted and stolen because of being told you got to do it this way and that way, or you can't do this because we say no, you know. So there's a kind of like um, picking up the pieces of your fragmented soul, so to speak, and kind of put it back together again.
100%. And like I said, no, whether you want to admit it or not, it's traumatic. It's trauma.
It's
And
very traumatic. Yes.
with trauma, and one thing that, I try not to also do either is um kind of, I like for people to own their not own, but I like to respect when someone says that they have gone through something,
Yeah.
Like that's it, period. You've
Yeah.
gone through it. That's your experience. I can't tell you, no, that never happened. It didn't happen to me. It
Yeah.
happened to you. And if you're saying this happened and it made me feel this way, I have to accept that. You
You have
understand?
to. You
That's
have to.
it.
And I
That's
have to
it.
tell you, I'm so glad that you brought this part up because the point that I was trying to make with the clusters of the stories is that each person is going to share what's happened to them. And when you think like, shit, like I went through some stuff, but when you talk to
Okay.
Sister Diana and you find out Sister Diana was molested by a pastor or
Listen,
something grave, you know, or something that you just would not expect or that you see in a movie and it's happening in the church. You know what I'm
listen,
saying? And it's time and it's other stories. You hear other stories. It's like, yo, like,
I'm telling you, like we're, I don't, I don't even know what to say. Like, and that's a form of trying to heal, right? When things are
yes,
so traumatic, so hurtful that you laugh about it. It's nothing to laugh about.
it's
But
nothing. Yeah, it's
you're
funny you
just so
mentioned.
shocked that it's
Yeah,
like, yo, what the hell? You
yes,
understand?
yeah, yeah.
It's
It is.
crazy.
And we use, and I think as Black people, we use humor as a healing
Yes, mechanism.
aspect, as a
Yeah.
healing mechanism. We really do.
Yeah.
Because one of my oldest friends from the BOC, she was my maid of honor at my wedding.
Hmm.
We talk almost every day still, you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes we'll sit on the phone and we'll reminisce, and we'll
Yeah.
start cracking jokes.
Yes. Yeah. Healing is a part of the healing
It's
process.
part of the healing. But as we're cracking the jokes, and I'll be like, yo, we are sick because we laughing
Yes.
about this shit, but it was
Yes.
traumatic as hell.
Yes. Very much so. Very much so.
And it
You
was
know,
it was a continual thing. That's the thing. It
bruh,
was
we were in church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesdays, band practice, music practice.
Jen on Saturday. And forget if
Listen,
there's conventions.
don't forget the vet in me, you know. But you know, again, because as crazy as it sounds,
Mm-hmm.
as crazy as it sounds, you and I are who we are, doing what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
because of a portion of that. What I
Yeah,
mean, what I mean by
I
that
feel
is
you. I feel you.
the best that I have come, what I have come to, and I have decided and I stand on is that I will never blame um on like family because they didn't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always felt like they did what they thought was best,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, they did what they thought was best.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I navigate through life now is I just keep drawing from the good. And
Yes.
I just leave the bad where
Behind.
it is.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you carry that, I mean, you know, and that's anywhere. That's church, that's business, that's
Mm-hmm.
relationships, that's marriage. Like you really gotta hold on to the good. But I don't believe in not addressing and talking about the bad
Mm-hmm.
and heal and healing
And
through it.
healing. Yeah,
To
because
heal.
not talking about it holds you back and it keeps you in the past.
Yes, it
It
does.
keeps you in that same
Hmm.
vibration. And so
Hmm.
it's like you physically left, but your spirit is still in the body.
They're stuck there, yeah.
Yeah, it's still stuck there. You
Um,
know, I'm grateful for my mother now. I'm always very grateful for her. I love her to pieces. But um the her living her truth,
hmm.
there's two aspects of it. She chose me over the church. Cause I'm gonna tell you, that minute that picture of Chris and I hit that internet, it
Hold on.
was
Hold on. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know, this is
it
just
was
water.
it was insanity. It was complete insanity to the point of them basically telling my mother to disown me. I've had family. My mother. I'm a. We gonna keep it straightforward. My
Of
own
course.
aunt. Okay, my mother's sister. My own aunt, and I don't care who's watching. Y'all want to bring this back to her? I don't care, because she gonna know the truth. And I told her to her face, and I'm gonna say it here. My own aunt was against me. Okay, even to the point where my father passed away, and my mother needed support the day it happened. There was no one there. Okay, so it was. She was like, okay, I don't know how she got to her resolution with God, but she's like, God, I asked you for a gift. You gave it to me. Now they're telling me to throw this gift away. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I asked you for something, you gave it to me, I'm keeping it, and I choose him.
Yeah.
You know, and she resolved it that way. And I think for her, she told me that she was reading in the book of Genesis and understood there was something that hit her spirit when she read where God said that he created the heavens and the earth and everything is good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So she took that and just was like, ding, 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 ding. You know, my son is good. My son is gay, but he's good. He's still good. He's still a gift from God. You
You
know.
know, again,
Mm-hmm.
because I think this is something that I don't even struggle with it because it's very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Um, I cannot judge. You understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't judge.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm
Yeah.
not, and this goes, I learned this the hard way. It took me a long time because in terms of even being such a nice, sweet, empathetic person, I can't save everyone. Even if I
Yeah.
want to, I'm not Jesus Christ. That's not
It's not
my
your
job.
job. It's like
My job,
salvation's personal.
my job is
Mm-hmm.
to love. I think as human beings, not I think, I believe
It
wholeheartedly my
it's the truth. Yes.
it's to
Yes.
love,
Yes.
period.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
I know scripture says, love what Christ loves and hates what Christ hates. You know, my thing is just that there are some people who are completely against gay people, right? It's such a
Mm-hmm.
big sin.
Mm-hmm.
So stealing is not, right?
Right. Right.
Is it on a different level?
Right.
Is it on a different pedestal?
Right.
Cheating, adultery, fornication, masturbation, pornography? Because you know, brother, you know that that's going on in the church. You know what I'm
A
saying?
lot.
Like,
Yeah.
so, like,
Because
are there
there's a lot of
different?
sexually repressed people in the church.
We're not talking about this time
I know.
because I don't have T. I don't have that long. I don't have that long.
It's
But
gonna have to be
serious,
another episode.
okay? Because let's be like,
It's the
I'm like,
truth. We gotta talk about the truth. If we're gonna
what
talk
are you,
about it, we gotta talk about everything.
what are you doing with all these women and men?
Come on.
Like,
Come
seriously,
on.
do you think they're not watching? Like, you think they're not watching pornography? Do you think that they're not masturbating? Like, come on.
What about
But yet,
just
but yet, but yet,
mm-hmm,
how you choose to live your life expressively is the biggest sin on earth. See, that's my problem. I feel like,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know, if you are gonna call that sin, then you have to hold everything else on that same
On
pedestal.
that same pedestal.
I'm I'm not here for that. Like I'm here
No.
to love. You understand?
Yeah,
And
to love. That's
and
it.
that's it. Period.
That's it.
But
That's it.
I mean, and here's the other reason why I was wanted to have this conversation is because sometimes the church thinks that, oh, those kind of things don't exist here. You know, we're exempt from that. That'll
Mhm.
never happen here. I
Mhm.
remember saying to myself, because things were like developing, and this is like the 2000s, like 2008, 9, 10. You know,
Mhm.
I've always been a thinker, and I was just like, well, what would they do if someone ever said that they were gay or a lesbian?
Mhm.
What would the church do and say? You know, and I would think about these things, and I would, wonder. And so to me, it was important that you and I talked because I wanted to understand
Mhm.
um, when someone is living their truth in that sense, right? Like
Mhm.
what message? I mean, like I said, I'm gonna keep it 100.
Sure.
You may have youth right now
Mhm.
sitting in churches,
Mhm.
suppress, repress in all types of fashion.
Mhm.
Go one way, you understand? And
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
what do we say? What do we do? How do we encourage? How do you even begin to approach? Like, what is your advice? Your
Well,
suggestion?
this is why they say representation matters, right?
It
You know,
does. It
because
does.
your Achilles heel is someone else's victory,
Yes, it
right?
is.
And I
Mm-hmm.
struggled with that for the longest time. I
Mm-hmm.
struggled with that for the longest time. Now I embrace it. Now I understand it because I went through it. And what I
Yeah.
want to tell any youth that is sitting up in the church repressed, um, or whatever is going on with them, I want to tell them first and foremost that God, the arbiter, the finisher, the creator of your life,
Mm-hmm.
loves you no matter what. That's first and foremost. Because there's
Yeah.
this thing where, um, for me, when I was growing up, my talk with God was, okay, God, if it's so wrong, why am I here?
Yeah.
If it's so
Yeah.
wrong, why am why why am I here? Why go
Yeah.
through all of that? What is the meaning of my existence if I cannot exist in a world?
See that hurts me seriously. It hurt. It's
It's
not a
I'm
way to live.
emotional talking about it, but
It's not a way to live.
it's
And
not.
and even not a way to live. It's not a way to live and not have someone to talk to about that. You understand? Like,
Exactly. Exactly. So I carried a lot of that on my own, you know? And when I finally came out to my mom, she said to me, she got mad. And she's like, I'm your mother. How can you keep such a secret from me? And I said, Mom, it was based off of your reaction,
yeah,
what the church said. Like I was ready to go to the grave with it. I was. Almost to the point where it almost did take me to the grave. So because it was killing me inside, you know, it was like I was dying a slow death, and it was my soul dying on the inside. So I want to encourage these youth or whoever. I don't care if you're 16. I don't care if you're 60, because there are people in the church that are past their time now and that
yeah,
still can't be themselves and still can't live their truth. And so I want to encourage people to really heed the calling in their soul and to shut off all of the chatter that's around them and really make it a point to try to hear the voice of God for their life. That's that's what's important. You got to shut everybody else out, and really it's because it is you and God, because we're
Yeah.
all here on a journey. We all have a mission on this planet to accomplish, whatever that is. And because of that, sometimes the enemy, whatever, will try to take us off that path.
Mhm.
But if we can consciously shut everybody off and go within and be like, okay, what is my purpose here? What is my mission? God, why am I here? What is it that you want me to do? You know, what is it that you want me to say? How am I to be a beneficial presence on this planet in your name? How do I do that? And I think if people start coming from that narrative and less from you have to do this and you have to do that, or you're going to hell because you blah 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 blah, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It's really being, I think the healing starts from within first. Like I
Mhm.
said, it's between you and God. And so it's really getting into that authentic place and really looking at yourself in the mirror. Because, honey, I had to do it because I was
Yeah.
in such denial. I was
Mm.
in such denial when I tell you, because I was so in the Word and I was
Yeah.
so in the church, and I was just so about the love of God and wanted to just be that and be in it,
Mm.
that once I started to recognize, like, oh shit, like I'm this thing that you're saying is really bad and gross and
Yeah.
disgusting, and I'm actually that, because I
Mhm.
was judging people too.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I was sharing a story with my husband about how when I was 12 and 13 years old, like, back in the day before caller ID and all of that, you get prank calls. So,
Yeah.
so there was this gay bar in the area called Triangles, and we
Wait, wait,
stayed
wait. In Connecticut?
in Connecticut, in Waterbury, Connecticut, at that, all the way up there, you know.
Oh my God.
So we used to stay prank calling this place, and as I went through my journey and really coming into my authenticity, I was like, like, damn, I feel really bad
Yeah.
because I was, I guess, basically the self-hate that I had within myself at the time, I was projecting it on them, and I actually was that, or
Yeah.
am that or whatever. But
No,
it's
projection is real. You
it is
know,
it is.
projection is real. That's why sometimes now when I see people react, I don't immediately get offended. I'm like, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on inside, right? Who are we
Voila.
really inside? Because we're gonna project that somehow or another, and
Voila.
and
Yeah.
I thank you so profoundly for how eloquently you just put it, in terms of speaking to anyone that might be sitting in church right now, because I don't I don't subscribe to the it's not happening in our church narrative, because
Oh no.
we're in a society, kids are going to school, it's all over, like, people are living their truth right in front of
Mm-hmm.
your face,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And if there is a person or child
Mm-hmm.
or anything that is struggling in that fashion,
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, because I want to be able to help. And
Right.
like I said, it crushes me that you had to go through that alone. It crushes me, you know. It completely crushes me. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really I'm man, I'm so grateful for you. Um I'm grateful that um, you are living a segment of your life
Mhm.
the way you see fit, your
Yes.
way,
Yeah.
you know? Because at the end of the day, if we believe in God the way that we say we do,
Hmm.
then we'll have to answer to him.
Hmm.
That's it. But I don't have to answer to you. You
Right.
understand?
Right.
Um,
That part.
it's period. You
And
know,
that part. Yeah. Yeah.
it's just and period.
Yeah.
So,
Because spiritually, I feel just on a spiritual level because I've really expanded my spiritual consciousness. But I
mm,
really feel that we each, as human beings, we have a soul contract.
mm,
Okay, we have a soul contract, and
mm-hmm,
so we have a soul contract. I really believe that our souls, outside of this fleshly existence, has a deeper understanding that our flesh does not understand, as far as like what we're to do here on this planet. We get, I believe that we get moments of aha moments, or like this is where I'm supposed to be,
yeah,
because
mm-hmm,
that's part of that was the contract,
mm-hmm,
right? And then when you get to the end of that contract, whatever was discussed prior to coming here, you have to answer for that. and
mm-hmm,
and you have to answer to, did you do this or that according to what your soul contract says,
mm-hmm,
not what everyone else's soul contract says, because everybody else got a soul contract, a timestamp, an order, a direction, places to be, people to see. Everyone has something to do.
mm-hmm.
So I feel like you're right. I feel like at the end of the day, we have to answer to the calling on our life,
Yeah,
whatever
and
that is.
like you said, back in like Genesis, not even Genesis. Let's go straight into Jeremiah, right?
Yes.
Before you were formed in your mother's
And
womb, God says, "I knew you."
that part.
He said, "I knew you." Like, don't get me
Exactly.
started. I listened. I know the word from the BOC.
Yes.
He,
Same.
he
Same.
said, "I knew you."
Yes.
So I live my life very much that God knows me. He sent his son Jesus Christ to die for me. And
Mm-hmm.
those are the only two people that I answer to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
T,
That's
oh
it.
my God. I feel like I'm keeping you past your bedtime.
No, girl, listen. It's 9:23 p.m. in LA. We 3 hours behind.
Well, it's 12:23 over here.
Yes. Well, you did say you was gonna stay up, so
I
here
know,
we are.
I know. And I'm telling you, man, this was necessary. And there's more to talk about. So I don't know what your
There
schedule
is.
is. I don't know what your schedule is like.
Uh-huh.
And at some point, we will get there again. But tonight, this was necessary.
It
It was
was. It
necessary.
was. It
Okay?
was necessary.
Very
It was
necessary.
very. It reminds me of just us being up late chatting on the phone.
When I just moved here like 2 years ago, building my closet, and I was like, T, we was on the phone for like almost 2 hours. And I'm like, T, I gotta go finish building this closet, man.
Yep.
Like, seriously.
Yes.
And you see, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm gonna always pull what's good. Like T, like I
Yes.
love you from the bottom of my heart. Seriously.
Oh, me too.
I
I love
love you
you
from
too
the
so
bottom of my
much.
heart. And and when I say I pray for you, it's not an implication that, oh my God, there's something wrong with you. Because people always put this stigma on like, oh, I pray. I need prayer. I'm walking this
Yes.
earth. I need prayer.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I am praying for blessings for you,
Mm. Thank
for
you.
health and
Mm.
wealth, prosperity, and for
Yes.
God to reign over your life, you
Amen. I
know?
love that. Thank you.
Um, and
Yes.
like I said, I'm so appreciative that you even took this time off because I know you are. actor, musician, singer extraordinaire. So I'm glad you made time. So before you blow up,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, blow
Yes.
up,
Yes. Yes.
I appreciate because time is valuable. And even today, I was reminded that the biggest mistake that we make as human beings is
Hmm.
thinking that we have forever.
Oh.
We
Hmm.
think that we have forever.
Mm.
Going back,
For real.
we all have an expiration date.
We do.
And it's not the judging that we do, the dictatorship that we do,
Hmm.
that we will be judged by. It'll be, did you feed the poor? Did you love my children? Did you help your brother? It's
Hmm.
those things.
Hmm.
And I'm just set out to live from those spaces.
Yeah. Yep.
That's important to me. So,
That resonates with me.
yes,
Resonates with me.
yes. So
Yes.
we're gonna have to talk again. And
Please. Please. I would love to.
you'll be able to see all the comments that come up on this when it posts on Friday.
I can't
But
wait. I can't wait.
it
Let's get the
doesn't even like
conversation started.
listen, at the end of the day, like, you spoke your truth and no
Hmm.
one can take that away from you.
No.
No
No.
one can take it away.
No.
Well, let me let you go, my friend.
All
We'll
right.
definitely be in contact some more. And please
Yes.
give us your social media. How can we contact you? Can we follow your music? So
Yes,
on and so
you can. So on the gram, I am on as Tuli Time. That's TULITIME. Same tagline for TikTok. Facebook, you could find me as Tertullian Thomas. You could find Senu on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, iTunes. Ah, ouais, qui ça encore? Ouais, c'est tout, oui. Ouais, c'est tout.
that's all. I think that's
Yes.
all. See,
Mm.
love you. I'm
I
glad
love
to have
you.
you on, and we will
Big love.
definitely talk again. You have a blessed night.
Absolutely. You too, love. Thank you so much.
All
Bye.
right, love.
Bye.